Okay, girl. Idea is that I color this like the communicator. What do you think?
Hey guys, welcome to the channel. My classes should be starting in September, so let's do something that's kind of school related but is still pretty fun. So let's get into it. This month is going to be themed after Kim Possble. I thought it would be best to start off my school year. Considering the crime fighting plus being a normal high schooler thing plot of the show, I thought it matched nicely with all the things I'm handling this semester, which I'm going to discuss more later. It was one of my favorite cartoons to watch, and I even got back to it pretty recently. There was a pretty obvious scene that I'm going to use to make the cover page, which is the Middleton High School. For those of you who haven't watched Kim Possble in a while, it's their high school that usually has funny things written on the sign outside. So of course, that's where I'm going to be putting the month label. I start with the sign first, I finish up the M on the sign, and color in the month label with black. The main board is outlined with purple, but the actual sign is this golden yellow color. I also got a warm brown to make the shadows. Then I take the shadow color and also color the pole going down. Next thing is the little shack on the left with two different colors. The front-facing side is lighter, but they both have two stripes across of the other color. The grass area is going to be pretty simple, green all over. The walking path is going to be a pure white, so I try to keep that part as clean as possible while coloring in the grass. I use my black marker to color in the flagpole to already set its area before coloring in the building. While I'm at it, I also color in the other parts of the scene that are also black. I take a dark brown and start coloring in the awning in front and then the arc thing at the side. You don't notice it on camera, but they're actually different colors. With all of the other large areas dealt with, I start coloring the building. It's this pretty bright yellow-orange color. I color the main parts of the building first, but I avoid all the parts with windows, even at the round building on top of the school. I vary the pressure I use on the colored pencil to change the shade of the door. Shadows of the building are made using a brown marker. Using that, I color the rest of the building, except the window part still. The roof has a shade over the window, so doing the same thing I did with the door, I change the pressure based on what's the lighter part. To pretend there's an inside, I also use a light hand to color a yellow-orange wall behind the glass in front and covering the parts that are supposed to be white in light gray. Coloring the right side with the shadow tone marker and adding a very light layer of light blue to the rest of the windows. I take the black marker, I make the thing on the sidewalk for the flagpole. I have 3 shades of teal colored pencil and use that to color the background. Within each layer of color, it has spots of the darker color to provide more depth. In the design, you can tell that the right side of the background has parts that are closer because they're darker than the left side. We're still missing a road. While making this, I realized that the small black marker I have isn't gonna cover the side space I need, so I take my Sharpie and color the road. I try to go as fast as I can to reduce the solvent base that might leak through the paper. The Sharpie can lay down a pretty flat color, the only issue is the smell, especially when you're laying down an area as big as this one. The final touches to the scenes are a light blue tint on the sign, coloring of the flag, and coloring the sky. My camera cut out while I was filming that, so you'll see it at the end. Now off to the monthly. The monthly is one of my favorite spreads in hindsight since it's the most recognizable one. It's themed after the communicator and Wade's room in general. That's why I have the dark blue washi tape line on top that's supposed to look like the general vibe of Wade's room. I use my cutter to trim the excess so it fits with the shape of the calendar. Going with the general blue vibe, I use the lightest blue vintage pen I have to make the lines on the calendar. The month label for this is going to be the really classic look of the Kim Possble logo, so I start by coloring the text with a bright lime green. I take a quick break to add the numbers I forgot in the calendar. Then I return to outlining the month label in black. I try to keep a consistent box around it to make it look more like the logo. The rest of the designs are pretty simple. On the left, we have Wade's screens, one we're going to use for the color key, and the other is just going to be a decoration screen. I have the smoke blue mad liner inside, then overlay some shapes with my white pen. And on the right side, we have the button on the communicator. The main thing I need to do is outline the shape. I also outline the calendar in my marker and go around the edges of the page with the marker. This is so I can start coloring. All that's left after that is to outline the button and color the button with light gray. Now we move on to the weekly pages. I haven't changed this for a while now. I'm going with my trusty timed weekly format. It's gonna help me so much now that class is starting. Week 1 is themed after Dr. Draken's lab, which is mainly dark red and brown with machines being a dark green color. So the quarter calendar is gonna have green highlights, red day label, dark green calendar, and the show's box under it is brown. The time labels per day in this are a dark purple color. I take a bunch of green markers and start coloring in the pipes and inventions on the top. I use 3 main shades that are around the army green color scheme. The main body is the darkest, lighter around the pipes, and the lightest on the attachments for the main base. There's also the section that was colored black. The main number labeling is in dark red with a dark red outline. There's 3 other weeks in September. Week 2 is themed after Club Banana, which is a clothing store in the show. The main color scheme of that is warm browns, yellows, and oranges. The design I make is the ceiling to the store. Week 3 is inspired by the Yamanouchi Ninja School, which appears later on in the series. The colors for that are beige, dark red, and brown, and I make the roofs. And week 4 is themed after Bueno Nacho with a beige, green, orange, and yellow color scheme, and I just do the kind of upside down like V shape that they do on the designs. While I work on those, some life updates. I've recently been joining some tournaments, Kita Open and Linkbait, which will be a double feature for the next debating vlog. I joined both tournaments with people I haven't joined tourneys with before. My performance in each were okay, but I'm still not really satisfied with how I did considering how I've been doing so far. I think I would go to say that I'm a bit disappointed in myself and how I've been doing, which just makes me want to try harder and do even better. Tryouts is coming up for UADC, which is the Asian Regionals for BP Debating. It's for United Asians Debating Championship, I think. I didn't go to the AP Nationals of the Philippines, and I'm gonna go against the contingent we sent there for the slots to be sent to the tournament. It's gonna be my first tryouts ever, and I kinda have an idea of how it's gonna go, but I'm getting pretty nervous about how I'm gonna do. I don't really know how I'm gonna be able to practice since it's already gonna happen the weekend of when I'm posting this video, September 3 to 4. Might also record a vlog of that when it's happening. On the ACAD side, I'm having such a hard time getting subjects. Pre-enlistment is usually a hard time for a lot of UP students, but somehow it's way harder this time around, and this is gonna be my 5th year in UP already. During the first round of pre-enlistment, I got no majors and only got 3 units. It's a required subject I needed to take, so it's still good, but there's so little majors that are available that they cut the class size from the usual 15 to 10. Now there's even less slots for the rest of us. Even weirder is that people usually start for asking teachers prerog. Okay, teachers prerog is just asking the prof to be added to the class even if it's full. They usually do that before the first day of class, or not before, on the first day of class. It's weird that they're doing it before the first day of the class. Usually profs get really mad when you start emailing them early, but because people were already emailing early now and professors were accepting it after the first round of pre-enlistment, I lost out a slot to a class that I really wanted. I didn't get any other subjects during the second round of pre-enlistment. Now I'm getting a bit nervous considering they raised the minimum units back to 15 instead of the 12-unit minimum when the pandemic started. The situation is getting more frustrating and there's no new classes that are being added, so I really hope there's more slots or more classes for the last week before classes start. It's been a lot for the past few weeks. Going back to what I was teasing earlier in the video, I'm handling a lot of things this upcoming semester/year. Of course, I'm still doing YouTube, still planning to post videos weekly as much as I can, working on stuff like my bullet journal, trying to create crafts sometimes, and figuring out how to organize all my stuff. One of these things that I need to manage is now being the chairperson of the ComSci org, even if I'm not ComSci. I'm coordinating a lot of different committees and planning a bunch of things for the incoming freshies. I'm excited to be in the face-to-face org fair next week, even if we weren't given a slot for the freshie tour, even if we are a unified org. I'm still debating, and I'm gonna try to join tournaments when they fit my schedule, even if classes already started. If I make it to UADC contingent, then you're gonna see how I prep for that too. I'm gonna be more involved in the org work side of the debate org since I'm applying for executive officer of the new committee. Well, not exactly a new committee, but new committee for me because I moved committees. I'm gonna go help out with admin work, which I already have a lot of experience with, but there's still no decision on whether I got the job or not and who else is applying for the job. So either way, there's still org work to be done in the debate org, at least way more than I've done in the past. But org work is no new thing for me anyway. ACADS will always be there. I want to finish my degree as soon as possible since I'm already way delayed. Considering my schedule, I'm probably graduating in 2024. Then the new addition would be my new freelance job as a blog layout person. I'm working with a really good friend and they make the articles and I'm the one in charge of formatting them on the website and creating graphics for it. If all of those aren't insane enough, I also volunteered for the help desk of UPCA. And that's basically UP college admissions. Let me just say here that I have no idea if there's a test or not this year. I just stay on chat or on call and answer people's questions. So that's just a brief recap of what I'm going to be juggling. You're going to see the manifestation of all that work pretty soon. Now we go back to the rest of the video. The habit tracker is themed after my favorite character in the show, which is Shigo. So this entire thing is going to be black and green. I start by planning out what sections are going to be what colors. I don't want to make it too uniform, but I also don't want it to be too crazy either. It takes a bit to figure out everything since I only have 2 colors to work with. I take a quick break when I started to get confused with which sections are which color. So I started coloring in the text for the sections that are going to be green. Green sections have black text and black sections have green text. While I'm at it, I also make the boxes for each habit tracker. Then I do the same thing with the other text, coloring in all the text going into the black sections green. If that made any sense to you. And then I also make the boxes for those. You'll see on screen what I actually do if you don't understand all the color speak I'm doing. When those are done, I just go and color each area. I make a little box around the text and color the shape. Then I go back to the text with more precision to minimize smudging. It takes a while, but it's a very repetitive process of coloring in. And that's done on the black sections as well. Just put a box around the text, outline the habit tracker, and color the rest of it in. I just use a black Crayola marker, then the Sharpie, since I didn't really like the smell the Sharpie left on my bullet journal. Now I know where all the colors are, I can go back and plan out the other sections I need to color. This is basically just the same process as I did for the last part. So now we can move on to the other tracker. The sleep and exercise tracker is going to be another scene from the show, which is Kim Possible's house. It's a very neutral looking house with mainly brown and black with green foliage outside, but it does have a light yellow driveway. So for the trackers, I have a dark brown at the top, light brown at the side, and a yellow box going all the way around. For the decoration, I start by coloring in all the black sections of the house. Then like the school, the house has 2 basic colors, the front color and the shadow color. I go around and color all the parts that are supposed to be the front colors first. Then follow it up with the shadow color since you can quickly cover over all of that. I take 2 shades of green markers and color in the lawn part with small patches of different colors. Since I don't have enough colors for my markers, I bring back the colored pencils to make the background. Same concept as the background of the cover. The darker colors are nearer and the lighter are farther. I also get this yellow gold color and use that to color the driveway. I go over the windows lightly with the light blue to give them more dimension. The titles are colored in with the smoky blue color, and then the rest of the page is colored in light blue for the sky. I intentionally leave out parts to mimic the streaky clouds in the original scene, and that's the spreads for September. I hope you guys enjoyed this installment of the Childhood Cartoons theme. I'm having so much fun thinking and designing these spreads, even if they do take longer than my previous designs. What do you guys think of the spreads? Any suggestions for monthly themes? Leave them in the comments below. If you found this video interesting, hit the like button, and if you want to see more videos like this from me, then hit the subscribe button and the bell to know when a new video is out. I try to upload every week, Monday nights at 8. I guess that's all for this video. Bye guys!